In our driver's seat is this. It's the 2007 Lexus LS 460L. This car is absolutely incredible, and it's hard to find any faults with it at all. Lexus is the #1 selling brand in the United States for luxury cars. Also, J.D. Power named them this year as the most reliable manufacturer in the United States. The car is also something outstanding, with its headlights which are shaped from glassware, with its hand-sanded body, and in the executive version, they have an ottoman in the back of the vehicle. What more could you want, Dennis?
Well, you can go to this, the way that the car envelops technology. Never before have we tested a car with so many systems that make enjoyable driving a pleasure to go to and a pleasure to go anywhere in the United States. If I had to pick a car out there to drive cross country, this would definitely be on a short list. We want to talk about the engine, the inside, the trunk, how great that rear seat is, but right now we're going to start under the hood.
Now, it doesn't matter what configuration you get of the Lexus LS 460, they all come with the same engine, and that engine is a 4.6-liter V8, Dennis.
You know what the funny thing is, Nick, though? If you look under the hood, well, it's under there somewhere. There's a bunch of plastic. 380 horsepower and 367 foot-pounds of torque is great numbers for a motor of this displacement. It's actually up 102 horsepower over the previous LS motor, but it's not just the motor, it's the transmission. 8-speed automatic transmission, first of its kind in any car, regardless of whether it's a luxury sedan or a sports car. This car has an optional switch on the interior that can make the transmission shift like it's an old Turbo 400 in a muscle car, or a luxury car transmission should shift. It's seamless and absolutely unnoticeable going from gear to gear. Now, that's just not all that a Lexus has to offer on the mechanical side. It's the ride. You expect it in cars like this, and particularly the lengthened wheelbase model. The car is super smooth if you want it to be. It does have a sport mode for the suspension, which recalibrates the rebound and dampening with the suspension. And I'm talking code. Let's get down to brass tacks. The car is a performance sedan if you want it to be, but more importantly, it's a luxury car when it needs to be. When it comes to styling on the LS 460L, a couple things come to my mind. One is, this is the best looking LS ever, and the fact that it actually now can compete with the aesthetics with things like the BMW 745 and the Mercedes-Benz S-Class. But it starts with little tweaks. Now, on the launch of this vehicle, they brought it up that the actual interior parts of the headlights were made and formed from fine crystal ware. That's something you don't see in a lot of vehicles. You have great looking wheels and some nice defined body lines, but more importantly, amazing with the L, which is the length and wheelbase, is my co-host is about 17 feet that way.
Wow, now you can see what a long vehicle this vehicle actually is. But there's some great styling attributes at this end of the vehicle too. One of the things that you notice is only often when you're actually behind the car in traffic, and that is the LED strip, which is above the back windshield. Also, things like the body lines are actually very subtle. I like to look at this as a car that was maybe designed in water rather than the BMWs or the Audis of this world, which were chiseled out of rock. This is a very slow and very supple vehicle. Overall, I find the design very comfortable. Although Dennis isn't quite in tune with these cars as being a little vanilla, I think they're actually pleasant to look at.
To talk about one of the most important parts that we have to cover for the LS 460 from Lexus. It's the L in the 4L60L. The length and wheelbase gives you an opportunity to sit back in one of the most comfortable rear seats in the business. Yes, Mercedes, Audi, BMW, all have great long wheelbase cars, but I tell you what, this car for me is one of the best.
It has such great controls here in the back. Of course, you can adjust the seats any way you want them to. You can heat it, you can be cooled, you can listen to what you want. Right here in the headliner, they have some great speakers. And for me, and we always make jokes about this on the show, me being so short, it's actually a fairly short walk to the front seats.
But the thing you want to see when you drive this car is the backup system. The automatic park system works, and I've done it both in a parallel and a slot parking spot. I can tell you this, it takes a little bit to trust, but it will park the car for you. 2 ups and 1 down. Nick?
It's really hard to find downs in this car, but let's get to the ups first. The up on this car has got to be the navigation for me. It comes with that traffic system which tells you how busy roads are. The other up for me is the price of the car to its competitors. This really kicks any of its German competitors to the curb. My down for this vehicle, it's missing a certain panache. This vehicle doesn't quite have what some of those German BMW, Mercedes, Audi's brands have. It really doesn't quite have that elegance, that top of the line feeling. I know it's about $30,000 less than its competitors, but it doesn't quite make it to me on the emotional level. I think that's more of a me problem than it is a Lexus problem.
And I think you're right, Nick. You know, that would be my down. I'm going to start with that. The car itself, and I've said this before, has kind of a plain feeling to it versus its competitors. Now, if you're out shopping for a Lexus and you go on the showroom floor and drive it, you'll find this, my two ups. The luxury of the car, the build quality, and the electronics are absolutely top notch. Sure, the Mercedes, the Audi, the BMW might look and feel a little more upscale, but when it comes to electronics and it comes to the actual living with the car, you can't beat this Lexus LS 460L. The 2007 Lexus LS 460L comes standard with a 4.6-liter V8 engine and an 8-speed automatic transmission. Base price is $61,500 and as tested, $72,145. EPA ratings for city are 19 and 27 for the highway EPA rating for fuel mileage.
Here are the guys that make miles around possible. The Russ Auto Group, Baxter Auto Parts, Northside Ford, Ray Reese Dealerships, 4-Wheel Parts Performance Center, Grand Prix Imports, and J. Lee's Auto Group. Thanks, guys.